Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the award-winning Legends of Sport podcast. I'm your host, Andy Bernstein. If you live in the Los Angeles area and are a sports fan, then this episode's guest is very, very familiar to you. He has been a fixture in sports broadcasting and has covered every important moment in LA sports for decades. Yes, I'm talking about the legendary Jim Hill. Jim and I have worked side by side at so many historic moments, from Showtime to the Dodgers championship in '88 to Shaq and Kobe, the LA Kings' 2 Stanley Cups, all of Kobe's career, an epic final game, and so much more. Jim has covered it all, and unlike many in his business, he has actually been there, in the dugout, on the baseline, or in the end zone, or next to the boxing ring, and I can't imagine how many champagne-drenched championship locker rooms Jim has been in his career. That's how Jim has built trust over the years with so many iconic LA sports figures. I love Jim's story coming out of San Antonio, Texas, then being the 13th pick in the 1968 NFL Draft by the San Diego Chargers. He built a sports broadcasting career while playing football, and has been a fixture on our TV for a long time and hopefully for many years to come. Jim has been a great friend and has donated his time for so many golf tournaments benefiting nonprofit organizations I have been involved with over the years. He has been a great supporter of me and my photography work and now of Legends of Sport. I'm thrilled to have Jim Hill as my guest on this week's Legends of Sport podcast. Enjoy, and as always, I'll see you on the backside. Well, I want to welcome my good friend and veteran sportscaster, Jim Hill, to the Legends of Sport podcast. How you doing there, Jim?
Don't take anything for granted now. You talk about good friend. Let's just wait and see how this goes. Then we'll know.
Well, you are a good. I would say you're a great friend, Jim, because you were a great friend while I was an active photographer all those years on the baseline and in the dugout and in the football field, wherever. And then when I started doing books, who was the first guy that would interview me? You. And then when I got off the court, who was the first guy who interviewed me? You, about Legends of Sport. So I love you, man. And it's so great to see you. And we've been friends for a long time. So thank you for joining us today.
I appreciate it. Friendship is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important to me. I don't have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people try to take advantage of other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very lucky that I work with and for the best of the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've got the best job there is. I get paid to go to games.
Yeah, I know. That's what I wanted to cover today, man. So, Jim, back in my previous life, my career as a sports photographer, you and I worked side by side at some of the most iconic sporting events in Los Angeles and also sports history, right? I'll just rattle a few off. Lakers Showtime era, the Dodgers '88 World Series championship, the Shaq and Kobe three-peat, Kobe's 2 championships and epic final game, two LA Kings Stanley Cups. I mean, I know I'm leaving out a lot, but that's like the top of the line. I mean, how blessed were we to be able to cover all that and next to each other? I mean, it just blows my mind. It's wonderful.
Well, I think luck has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work has a lot to do with it, because when people see that you are a hard worker, then they want you around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I try to pride myself on.
Mm-hmm.
And that is being the hardest worker there. My motto: get up early, go to bed late, work like hell in between. So when athletes and organizations and people like that, when they see you around and they see that you're working, even though you may need a little, you need to be rough, smooth out on some edges and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have anything to do with it. And the athletes themselves see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that a long time ago from Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting at the forum,
mm-hmm.
and the very first interview that I did with him, and it was like it was not yesterday, but day before yesterday.
Right.
And he said, I can see myself now running up and down the court. No look passes, behind the back passes. Man,
Yeah.
Jim, this is going to be fun. When you when people feel comfortable with you,
Uh-huh.
they relax, and it's not a question answer. It's just a conversation, like
Mhm.
like we're having now. So I'm
Yeah.
very lucky to have the job that I have and to have been in and hopefully will be in the position of being in some more sports legends and great things
Mhm.
in the world of sports.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know, and all the fans in LA know that when there's a big sporting event in LA, and it doesn't have to be in LA, but if it involves an LA team, we will see Jim Hill front and center, usually in a championship locker room, getting soaked with champagne with the microphone in your hand. You know, we just saw that with the Dodgers recently. Um, and Jim, you're one of a kind, really, because you really, there's a lot of people out there in sports, and a lot of people have opinions, but I never see those people in the locker room. I never see those people at practice. I don't know anyone who works as hard as you do, and I'm glad that you touched on that because that's your work ethic, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I learned that from my athletic background.
Yeah, yeah.
If you if and you do, you know about professional sports, and in particular with me with football. You know
Mhm.
how hard the coaches work.
Yeah.
You know how long the players are in meetings.
Hmm.
uh, for players in the NFL. It's like a 9 to 5 job, and in a lot of instances, it's like a 7 to 7 job.
Right. Yeah.
When they go into work at 7 in the morning and they leave at 7 at night. So
Hmm.
that's one of the great things about what sports does for our young people.
Hmm.
It gives them the foundations of a way or of the way to be successful in life.
Yeah. Well, let's go back. You touched on it. You touched on your career in football. Grew up in San Antonio, Texas. Started playing football at probably Pop Warner, I would think, like very young, right?
No, it was
No?
before that. It was street ball.
Yeah, like me. I grew up in Brooklyn. We played a lot of street ball.
So
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, street ball. 126 Gravel Street.
Oh boy.
We lived with my grandmother.
Yeah.
We moved to 1031 South Olive Street,
Mm-hmm.
and then we moved back and lived with my grandmother at 126 Gravel Street. Isn't it
Mm-hmm.
amazing how you remember the things that you remember, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have any problem at all remembering them. And it's like things like that that makes me realize just how lucky I am because
Mm-hmm.
I know where I came from,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't want to go back.
Yeah. Well, can we talk about that, Jim? Because you went to Texas A&I University, right, in Kingsville, which I guess is now called Texas A&M. 18th pick by the Chargers in the 68 draft. Do you remember the moment when you heard your name called? And like, what was it like back then during draft day?
I didn't hear a thing because we were coming back from Mexico.
Okay.
The fellows decided, like the day before the draft,
Yeah.
some of my teammates said, "You know what? This is crazy," because
Hmm.
I was just going absolutely off the walls. And they said, "We got to do something to take your mind off the draft."
Hmm.
And then my roommate Butch Thomas says, "Let's go to Nuevo Laredo." So so we jumped in my car and drove to Mexico. Had a good time, came back, and as soon as I got back, that's when I found out that I had been drafted. So
Wow.
it was a draft day for me was more than just draft. It was being with the fellows. It
Hmm.
was traveling from Mexico back to or driving back
Hmm.
to Kingsville, Texas,
Yeah.
at 90 miles an hour. So, but I I wasn't the typical player. I didn't
Yeah.
have an agent
Hmm.
and all those things that were hovering over me and stuff. Hell,
Yeah.
I was just by myself.
Yeah. That's
And
amazing.
and when
Yeah.
the ball and when I got the call in my room,
Hmm.
uh, it was my roommate Butch Thomas who
Hmm.
answered the phone and said hello, and they must have said this is the NFL calling for Jim Hill, and he said, "Who is it?" and he said, "It's Sid Gilman calling for Jim Hill of the San Diego Chargers."
Ah.
And he said, Roomy, it's Sid Gilman. What the hell is he doing calling you? And and so that's how it got started, and it's
That,
been crazy ever since.
that's amazing. That's a great story, Jim. That's awesome. Um, So your broadcasting career, from what I understand, and I think you told me this story, but I read it recently that you started like almost by a fluke broadcasting. It was some kind of like weird prank that was going on to get you out of class, and you ended up doing some broadcasting while you were in college.
Well, I went to Texas. Then it was Texas A&I University.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's Texas A&M Kingsville, but to me it's always Texas A&I. And so in the summertime, I had worked at a radio station in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
The rock and roll soul station called KSOUL. So now I go to Kingsville and I tell them
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be a disc jockey.
Okay.
So so the next thing I know, I'm talking to a gentleman by the name of Andy Cook.
Uh-huh.
He's the general manager at KINE
Mm-hmm.
radio station, which was the AM station
Yeah.
in Kingsville, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. This is Jim Hill, KINE, Kingsville, Texas, coming to you live, and
Yeah.
I just had fun with it, and they were so cool
Yeah.
and relaxed about it. As long as I didn't commit any crimes,
Right.
then you could go on the air. I could talk over I was talking over records,
Yeah.
but I always knew when to and when not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you talk over records, you talk over the instrumental part.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk over the vocal part.
Sure.
And I learned that when I growing up in San Antonio,
Mm-hmm.
where there was the rock and roll station um, in San Antonio, where the DJs were,
Mm-hmm.
oh hell, they were like some of the biggest celebrities in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you playing, Jim? What kind of station was it?
Oh, rock and roll,
Yeah.
soul stations,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
everybody that worked, every disc jockey had to have a way of introducing himself
Hmm.
every day.
Okay. Yeah.
And mine was, good afternoon again, ladies and friends, and welcome in once again to JW's afternoon get together. From now until 6, you're going to get your kicks.
Yeah.
Okay, in Kingsville, Texas, with JW. And that's how I started.
That's awesome. That's so great. So you go to the Chargers, and then I gotta know how this all came about. So they assigned you number 39, or was that kind of because there was a station in town that broadcasted the Chargers games that was Channel 39? Like, how did that happen?
No, Channel 39 was the broadcast station of the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as and this is pure luck. I mean, this comes from the heavens above. I get drafted by the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a defensive back.
Yeah.
The Chargers station is getting ready to make a pick. I mean, they're getting ready and they sign, and the Chargers gave me the number 39 after I was drafted by Channel 39.
Okay.
And that's how that happened. I mean,
Yeah.
with me, it's uh, you've heard of being in the right place at the right time,
Sure. Yeah.
and answering a lot of prayers, but a
Mhm.
whole lot of luck has gone into me talking to you today.
Well, look, we make our own luck, right? We know that, but it's also when opportunities are in front of us, we have to figure out how to take advantage of them. And it's amazing that you were playing professional football, but you had like this whole other kind of career going on at the same time. Not too many guys could have juggled that at that time.
Yeah, I I know how lucky I am,
Hmm.
and the big person upstairs has uh, not had, but has a lot to do with that and what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a disc jockey so bad.
Yeah.
because the radio station in San Antonio is 1480. I'll never forget it.
Hmm.
And it was a the soul station,
Yeah.
and it had all these wonderful personalities
Hmm.
on the station, and and the one thing I learned from them is when to, but more importantly, when not to talk.
Hmm.
You talk during the instrumental. You don't talk when there's a vocal on there. I
Right.
mean, like there was always 15, 20 seconds, 18 seconds maybe
Yeah.
of instrumental at the beginning of a song.
Yeah.
Then here comes the people who are singing, and then every once in a while at the end there may be 8 or 10 seconds where you could do stuff like that.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, well, you and I are cut from the same cloth because I always had this sixth sense about when to get out. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in the locker room or the training room and Phil Jackson's walking through and he gives me like that eyebrow. I remember that Phil Jackson eyebrow would go up.
yeah,
He didn't have to
yeah,
say anything, but I just knew once the eyebrow went up, Andy was out of there, you know.
yeah.
And you and I both understand that it's not about us. It's about what we're reporting on, what I'm photographing, who you're talking to. But yet, Jim, you have built a trust with so many people across the board of sports. I mean, we could be on here for 2 hours talking about everybody from Tommy Lasorda to Magic and Kobe to Dave Roberts to every single person in football. What is it about you, Jim? And break it down. Like from the outside looking in, what is it about you and your personality that you think people will trust you and bring you into their inner circle? And I want to preface that by saying Pat Riley's statue just was announced the other day, and there was a party, excuse me, at Peter Guber's house. You were the only media person. I mean, I know you're friends with everybody, but you're also in the media who is invited to that party. So how does that happen, Jim?
They trust me.
Yeah.
They asked Pat who he wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and Pat told them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, I'm lucky. I know how lucky I am, but
Yeah.
it most of it goes back to just being working, having a great work ethic, working
Mm-hmm.
hard, get up early, go to bed late, work
Mm-hmm.
like hell in between, go to everything and anything you can.
Yeah.
Not only professional and college, hell, go to a lot of high school things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just lucky, because if I weren't doing what I'm doing now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to sound a little morbid or anything, but I probably would be 6 feet under now.
Well,
I
you love
just,
what you do, and it shows. I mean, obviously, it shows every time you're in front of the camera, have a mic in your hand. Um, can we talk a little bit about the Mamba, about Kobe? All right.
oh yeah, oh
So
yeah,
I think it might be safe to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you and I probably met Kobe for the first time at the same time at the '96 Lakers Media Day. I don't know if you
yep.
met him before that, or that's the
I
first
met
time
him.
I met him.
Yeah, I met him before that,
Okay.
and you could tell he had it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of top draft choices are great at talent, but they don't have it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that it factor is that intangible thing that separates them from the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And his was, you could look at him and you could tell he was going to be really something special.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it, but more importantly, he knew it. But
Yeah.
what we didn't know was how good he really was and how good he was really going to be. We saw it develop and go all the time. And one of the reasons why he was so cool, calm, and collected
Mm-hmm.
is that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was doing what he wanted to do and what he knew he was going to do. And it may have surprised a lot of us, but it didn't surprise him. He knew what he was meant to do.
Yeah. Well, he also respected those of us who took our jobs really seriously. You know, he once said to me that the reason he let me into his inner circle, you know, we did our book together and all that, was because I was as crazy obsessed with my job, my craft of photography that he was with his job, his craft of basketball. Like that's how we kind of, you know, merged our obsessions together, and I respected him for that. And he always pushed me as a photographer to be better. Honestly, every single game I saw him pushing himself. I never wanted to mail it in front of this guy. I wanted to always push my game a little bit better, so to speak. You know?
Well, and the other point to add to that is being a photographer, pictures don't lie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you were there at great moments
Mm-hmm.
when things happened, when
Mm-hmm.
history was made, when guys were caught goofing around or or were loafing and didn't go all out like they should.
Yeah.
You can't. The picture is there.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can deny about that. So,
Yeah.
but he may have been the most dedicated athlete I've ever been around.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
he wanted to do was play
And get better and be
and get
better.
better. I
Yeah.
mean, here's a guy, he was winning championships and all pros. He wanted to be better. And I
Yeah.
said, Kobe, how the hell are you going to get better? Well, there was this one game where I missed three free throws
Yeah.
and a couple of 3-pointers, and I should have counted. I should have made those things. He
Right.
was always talking about what he should have done
Yeah.
instead of what he did do.
Yeah, that's true, man. Can you believe that we're coming up to 10 years since his last game, April 13th, 2016? It's been 10 years. I mean, the time has just gone crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
did you ever
yeah.
think you would see a performance like that person is going off the field, off the court, ending their career? I mean, the guy drops 60, drops the mic, Mamba out. I mean, it was the most epic thing of all time, I think.
The big person upstairs every once in a while sends us a very special package.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen a lot of good and great athletes, but then there are those athletes that defy description, and that's Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
when when the big person upstairs sees how dedicated you are to your craft, and you get up early, you go to bed late, you work like hell in between, you break up with your girlfriend because you you're going to go to a game instead of taking her to dinner. I've had that to happen too. And you know what?
Yeah.
Didn't bother me one bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the big person upstairs sees those things, and the person that you're talking about, like Kobe, maybe he didn't know some of the details,
Mhm.
but he knew you were making personal sacrifices to come to see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a great point. Yeah.
yeah, and that's one of the
Mhm.
things that uh, not only players but people in politics, anyone who's hugely successful,
Mhm.
they're touched by the heavens above
Right.
to do even more and to do better. And that's why they have the sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth sense that we talk about sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Jim, I have to tell you, the hardest day that I ever had to work was the day that Kobe and Gigi tragically died, January 26, 2020. Obviously, I had to cover it. I had to cover all the fans coming into LA Live, the grief, everything after that memorial. Um, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to work. I was so grief stricken, so shocked. How were you able to do it? Because I remember you out there, Jim. I remember you, just doing your job like we all had to. But how did you process it?
Well, I wanted Kobe to be remembered in the right light.
Mhm.
I wanted him to be remembered the right way,
Mhm.
as a very, very special individual. Did he have flaws? Oh, hell, we all have flaws.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I'll never forget is the way he was and the memory he has left with us about young people.
Mhm.
And I remember hearing young people at age 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. And you'd look at him and his eyes would light up.
Mhm.
And his
Yeah.
eyes would light up and I would get goosebumps like I'm getting goosebumps right now talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
There's special athletes who bring out the specialness in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was one of those people. Magic is one of those people.
Yeah.
He, of all the people that I know, of all the names, of all the nicknames that are out there, the very best nickname ever, Magic.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, we were blessed to witness and document his whole career, and of course his post career and everything he's been doing now with, with the Dodgers, and I guess he's back with the Lakers. I don't know how that's all going to work with the ownership situation, but we were at Pat Riley's the party, and then of course Pat's statue. Um, Tell me what you think Pat's legacy is in LA, and how did he transcend? Like, why is there a statue of Pat Riley in front of Crypto.com Arena?
Because the Lakers won the championships that they did,
Mm-hmm.
because he was brutally honest,
Mm-hmm.
because the superstar players that played for him respected him and did the things that he wanted them to do
Mm-hmm.
and ran the plays that he wanted them to play. I mean, he had some players that if other coaches had been there, you know, instead of playing them instead of play 1A,
Yeah.
hell, they would just go to play ME.
Yeah.
And by that I mean me. They would be really selfish.
Right.
I saw Pat. I saw him get really ticked off at several players, his marquee players,
Mm.
and put them on the end of the bench
Mm.
until they realized what they had done, and he was ready for them to go back. I remember one time Magic did something, and he sent him to the end of the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the next quarter. He said, "Are you ready?" And yeah, I'm ready. He said, "No, no, 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 no. Did you get my message? What I
Yeah.
was telling you?" Yeah, coach, I got it. Okay, get your ass back in there. So
Yeah.
we have been blessed with not only players but coaches, general managers, and owners who
Mm-hmm.
have the it factor.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat Riley had the it factor. Whatever it is that makes you great, that makes you get up before anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
that makes you get up early, like I say, go to bed late, work like hell in between. He had it.
Yeah.
Other players and other coaches didn't have that it factor. They would, well, I'll go from 9 to 5 and then I'll go home and I'll be in the bed or what. No,
Yeah.
Riles was all basketball all the time. That's why we love him the way that we do. That's why he has affected the lives of so many people in a positive way.
Yeah, for sure. Jim, we could cover so much. I'm very conscious of your time, and you're so generous coming on to the Legends of Sport podcast. Got to talk about some of the stuff you do when you don't have a microphone in your hands. Um, I know you've been in a couple of movies and some TV stuff. The acting bug, did that ever
No,
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 no, it
no.
just sort of happened? Because I know you played yourself like in Arliss
Yeah, and a couple. Yeah,
and
but
Rocky 3. Yeah.
one of the most important things for you to realize who you are,
Mhm.
what you can, but more important, what you cannot do.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
I realized that.
Yeah. No, but it must have been fun though, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Oh
fun to
yeah.
do those
Oh,
things? Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, there were, a couple of times, like I did a couple of Rocky movies,
Yeah.
and I would go in to do my little part, which was like 30 or 45 seconds.
Uh-huh.
And the actors that were there, and all and the big guys were
Yeah.
there. You know
Yeah.
who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Sylvester, yeah. So
Yeah.
it was like in instead of me being in awe of them,
Hmm.
they were being not in awe of, but extremely respectful of what I was doing and what they and Sylvester, what he knew and thought I was going to bring to the movie.
Yeah, sure. Well, they're not getting somebody to play Jim Hill. They're getting Jim Hill to be Jim Hill.
Well, you
That's
know what?
pretty impressive, I
Yeah,
gotta
you know
say.
what though? But when you have those kinds of people making movies,
Yeah.
they could get John Doe to be in,
Right.
to
Right.
play the part.
Yeah, but that's awesome, man. So Jim, I have to shout out and give you a huge thanks because I know you're a big golf aficionado. You love golf, and every single time I have asked you to help with a foursome for a golf tournament, a charity, nonprofit, you have shown up. I mean, that goes back 20 something years. And I have to thank you because every single time, as soon as you announce that you're coming, that foursome fills up within 5 minutes.
Hmm.
So thank you
Golf,
for
yeah,
that, my friend. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
Golf is a passion. Um, I I got hooked on golf through Tiger Woods' father.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'm s- I'm well, not yeah. I really that's when I really got hooked on it. I mean,
Okay.
I was playing before, but didn't mean that much to me.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting at the station when I was. This is when um, I met Earl Woods,
Hmm.
and I picked up the phone, and they said that is Jim Hill there? I said, yeah, this is Jim speaking. This is when our station was over on Sunset.
Uh-huh.
He said, I've got Earl Woods for you. I said, who? He said, Earl Woods. I said, okay. So I said, Earl Woods? Earl Woods said, is this Jim Hill? I said, yes. He said, this is Earl Woods. He says, my son is named Tiger, and he's going to be the next biggest thing in not only golf, but in sports. And I said, well, how old is he? He said, 9. I said, what? He said, 9.
That's funny.
He said, but I'm telling you,
Wow.
and Earl Woods had, I mean, it was something about his voice that
Hmm.
made you believe him.
Hmm.
So I go out to the course the next day, and I see Earl, and then I look around and I'm looking for, and here comes Tiger. He wasn't even 10 years old, and
Yeah.
he's just wobbling down the fairway, and everything that he hit went straight.
Oh,
And I said,
incredible.
"Oh my goodness, I've
Yeah.
never seen anything."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't see pros hit it straight all the time."
Right.
And and that's how we got. But here's the thing about Tiger. Um, I'm doing an interview with him. He's sitting in his father's lap, and I said, "Tiger, thank you so much for doing the interview." I said, "Tiger, why do you like golf so much?" And he goes, and I said, Tiger, my career is in your hands. Why do you like play? This is no, this is I'm quoting now.
I love
I
this. Yeah.
said, why do you like golf so much? My career is in your hands. Here's the quote from Tiger Woods, the best golfer ever. He said, I got to go poo poo. Tiger, my career is in your hands right now. Will you please help me? Do you like playing golf? Yes or no? No poo poo. Jim Hill for CBS News, Los Angeles. So
I got to
we
cut this
laughed.
clip out and send it to him, but that's okay. Yeah.
You have to what now?
I'm going to cut this clip and send it to Tiger's people.
Oh, he
Might
knows. They
might
know.
crack him up a little bit.
He knows.
I love it.
And he's and I said, "Oh my!" He said, "You gotta go." He said, "I gotta go poo poo." And we laughed and
Oh
laughed
my
and
God.
laughed,
Funny.
and that's the way we ended that little interview with him when he was just like 9, 10 years old,
Oh
nine,
God.
8 or 9 years old. So then after that, up until well, not now certainly, but for a couple of years after that, I would see him and I would say, "Hey, listen, if you don't want to, do an interview with me, I'll just run the poo poo tape." And we laughed and laughed. He is
That's hilarious.
he's one of the he's one of the he's in that upper echelon,
Sure. Yeah.
not only of athletes, but people that you admire, people that you would like to be
Yeah.
sometimes. And there's only one, and there's
Yeah.
only going to be one. The likes of an Eldrick Tiger Woods will never pass our way again.
Yeah, it's amazing that most of those people in the upper echelon of sports, with legends of sport, they have one name, Magic, Kobe,
Yeah.
Serena, Tiger, right? Um, So Jim, you do so much off mic, away from the camera. You give of your time, and I know how valuable your time is. Um, so many organizations, the Los Angeles Urban League, the Grossman Burns Center, the City of LA Department of Parks and Recs. I mean, so much you put so much into Los Angeles and giving back, right? How important is it for you to be part of all of these organizations and give of your time?
Dr. King said it best when he said, giving back to your fellow mankind is one of the most noble things anyone can do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to get any better advice than from Dr. King.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't try to say that I, I just kind, I just kind of follow his words
Mm-hmm.
and what his words, and I interpret them because what words mean to me might be different than what they would mean to you or to
Mm-hmm.
somebody else.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
that was one of the great things about, I think, about Dr. King,
Mm-hmm.
is that he would make these wonderful speeches. He would let you interpret them your own way, but the way that you interpret them was always right and righteous. There was never any doubt about any of the meaning of his message. It
Mm-hmm.
was how you would interpret that message for you. So
Yeah.
um, I I'm I'm very lucky to have been able to watch certain people, both in the world of athletics and in just growing up,
Mm-hmm.
because if um, if it hadn't been for the big person upstairs, he you know he had and it still has a plan for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it hadn't been for him, I probably would be 6 feet under right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here talking to me then, my friend.
Me too.
Hey, the last thing I want to discuss with you, and this has just been a fantastic conversation, Jim. You and I have talked many times on the air, off the air, waiting endlessly in locker room hallways, but it's so great to sit down and talk to you on the podcast. Many young photographers they look to me for career advice, and I really
As
I
they should.
but I love helping them, and I also feel obligated to leave my craft in good hands. As as I put the cameras away, that those who are taking up the cameras are fulfilling what I guess the ambition and the work ethic that I had. How do you feel about that? Because you're in a very competitive business, obviously, but there are young people who look up to you and want to be you one day. Do you enjoy talking to young people in journalism?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have some wonderful conversations
Hmm.
when when I go to speak at some schools and I'm in the classroom.
Yeah.
I'll go in, and of course, there's all the teachers that are there. Not the, yeah, the teachers are there,
Sure.
the students are there, male and female, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
The first thing I do when I get in, when I walk into a room, and I'll say, teachers, all you adults, get out. That's the first thing I say,
Yeah.
and they look rather stunned
Yeah.
at me. And
Yeah.
I said, no, 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 you heard me. Get out. These young people and I need to have a heart to heart talk, and we don't want you around.
Yeah.
Get out of here. And I said, young folks, do you agree with me? No, yeah, 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 yeah. I said, okay, on 1, 2, 3, let's tell all of them get out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, get out, get out, get.
Yeah.
And I've got their attention.
Hmm. Hmm.
They we trust each other
Yeah.
from that point on. And there's some young kids that uh, I've talked to and been at the I don't want to say convention, but in the assemblies at
Hmm.
school,
Sure.
and they remember those things.
Hmm.
They remember. Did you tell? How many times have you told classes to tell the teachers to get out? I said, well, not today. Well, good. So, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of the highlights of me speaking, telling teachers get out.
Yeah, Jim, I love that. Well, listen, man, I know that myself and everybody out there in the Legends of Sport universe is going to be seeing Jim Hill at every upcoming important event in LA. You're a fixture here. You're a great friend. You've been a great supporter of what I've tried to do personally and professionally. And I can't thank you enough, Jim. I just can't for coming on and speaking with me today and bringing the wisdom to all of our followers. So thanks a million, man.
I don't know about wisdom, but the facts are the facts, and I appreciate you having me on. And like I always say, just keep the faith, partner. Keep the
That's
faith.
right. That's it. That's it. Thanks, Jim.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you there soon somewhere.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
All right, buddy. Thank you. So great to have time to chat with the legendary Jim Hill on this episode of the podcast. We were in the trenches of LA sports for decades, but always on the job. So it's a pleasure to have had this long conversation with him. He is truly a giant in his field of sports broadcasting and definitely a legend of sport. But more importantly, he's a great friend. Thank you, Jim, for your support of my career behind the camera and now in front of it. Big thanks to Jim's producer, Armin Kulian, for helping to make this episode possible. Thanks also to our editors, Sean Gosser and Addison Shao. And thanks, everyone, for joining us for this episode of the podcast. You know how thankful we are to all our loyal followers. Please, folks, tell all your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legends of Sport, and our Instagram, @Legends of Sport, and, of course, my photography on Instagram, @ADBPhotoInc. Folks, please check out the discount link in our social media to our good friends at Muggsy. We love, love, love Muggsy's clothes, and you will too. And the discount link to our friends at You Should, the best way you should protect your skin for work, play, and everyday life. Thanks again, folks. We'll be back next week for another great episode of the Legends of Sport podcast.